Hey, but the question that arises, and people who have been following this so closely, and certainly you have to know how much emotion that this has generated across the country, is why someone who would be interested in carjacking or stealing a car would want to continue to take a couple of little kids with them. Have you been able to fathom that, or could you think of why someone would want to kidnap a couple of little kids unless there was some ransom or something involved?
No, I have no idea why the suspect why he even took the children and why he has not released them yet. We have no knowledge whatsoever.
All right. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. I was going to do it, man. All right. We're still going to do it. All right, Chase, what do you got? Or Greg, what do you got?
Or Mark, what do you got? She's going to pass out if she keeps this interview up. She's in a place where her respiration is fluttering now. You can't miss it. I mean, you watch her breathing rate. I didn't count, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 40. That's pretty fast. It might even be higher than that. Chase, you probably counted. She's licking. She's grooming her mouth. All this stress is now caught up with her. Her eyes are down to the right and then back up. And then when he says, my favorite in the whole thing, and I'll leave it at that, when he says, well, we don't know, her mouth moves. Now, children, if you have a child and you don't teach them not to, when they color, they'll go. Because when we're thinking and working out something, we move our mouths. Mammals do. It's just what we do. Horses do it. Dogs, all of us move our mouths a lot, but humans, when they're little children, will do it all the time. And I think that's leakage in her case of, well, maybe. I think she's trying to figure out what she's going to say to make that come to the next level. If she were in a chair, I think we'd see pre-confession movement. She would start changing her body style here. Scott, what do you got?
I got $10 that says somebody's going to make a GIF of you doing that with your mouth a second ago. I think within a week it'll be on Instagram. Anybody want to take bets on that?
Live.
I'll go to $50.
I know where you live.
I know. Anyway, so that's
if somebody shows up at your house with a chain and drags your Traverse around, it wasn't me.
Yeah, Amber will tell you. So go out and get something else. So at this point, I think her fight or flight is the highest it's been so far. She's panicking as this guy's talking because she's thinking, is he going to say something that's going to get me in trouble? Is he going to say something that I'm not ready for, that I can't defend at this point? Her blink rate is through the roof, and her nostrils are flared again. We see that one more time. I think her fight or flight's through the roof. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we actually see her ramp up in this. I mean, she starts pretty high and she goes up higher. And I think it's because her partner here, I guess it's her husband, really starts kneading into her muscle tissue there, because he is not prepared for this at all. He's in high anxiety. That is a strong signal for her. She, I think, is now going, well, this guy's out of control. So just as you said there, Scott, what's he going to say? Is he reliable? And I think her breathing rate ramps up even further at that moment there. So always great to see the combinations that happen, not just focus on one individual, but how's the partnership working? Just as I think it was Scott was saying earlier, that in that video that I don't think we can see, but he was saying, look, if you look around the subject, you get to understand the subject. Look at the partnership that's happening here to understand the subject. Chase, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, I love that. So let's really quickly touch on nostril flaring, or wing dilation, as we call it. We have an adrenaline spike that produces an equally high demand for oxygen. And when you're trying to conceal your need for oxygen, because most of us would just open our mouth and openly breathe bigger. But when we're trying to conceal it, we use the nostril flaring unconsciously. Our brain just says, okay, dilate the nostrils if you're trying to keep your mouth shut, to oxygenate the blood going to the brain primarily. I like that the perpetrator appears. The husband is asked, and now there's a perpetrator. We even hear the word suspect, which is great. And he's using his wife as a pacifier throughout this thing. You can see him just kind of going crazy. And I think she's stroking his hand to help calm him down and just kind of get him ready. Just remember what we talked about.
just kind of just go right along what we talked about. But I think there's a strong drop of her thumb onto his hand at the end of his statement. And right when he's saying no knowledge whatsoever. But you're right, the blink rate and breathing spikes as he begins. So we actually, in this clip, we're not seeing it super high. We're seeing it spike from the beginning. So we're getting to see it escalate. So you'll be able to see that and kind of train your brain to see that in your everyday life using this video as well. That's all I got.
David, the question that arises in people who have been following this so closely, and certainly you have to know how much emotion that this has generated across the country, is why someone who would be interested in carjacking or stealing a car would want to continue to take a couple of little kids with them. Have you been able to fathom that, or could you think of why someone would want to kidnap a couple of little kids unless there was some ransom or something involved?
No, I have no idea why the suspect why he even took the children and why he has not released them yet. We have no knowledge whatsoever.
That was a good one. If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.